Ways to look expensive when you're broke. Why magazines are photoshopping models to be fatter. How to keep your funds in check for all your spending pleasures. Good morning to you and welcome to Life Love Shopping. I'm Andrea Jackson.
And I'm Rachel Kay. Get ready to have your mind blown. Beloit College's annual mindset list is out for the class of 2016.
This is so depressing. It's a snapshot of how incoming college freshmen view the world. For the most part, they were all born in 1994.
Wow.
For them, Kurt Cobain, Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis, Richard Nixon, and John Wayne Gacy have always been dead. The biblical sources of terms such as forbidden fruit, the writing on the wall, Good Samaritan, and the Promised Land are unknown to most of them. Michael Jackson's family, not the Kennedys, constitute American royalty.
And Robert De Niro is thought of Greg Focker's long-suffering father-in-law, not as Vito Corleone or Jimmy Conway. And Bill Clinton is a senior statesman of whose presidency they have little knowledge. That's pretty intense.
Yeah, and none of them have any idea what a rotary phone is.
No,
Yeah.
or leaving a message on the answering machine. Like, what's an answering machine?
Don't know life without email.
Life without email.
I've never ridden a bike without a helmet.
Right? Do they know what a stamp is? Like, I don't know. Everything is electronic.
True.
So, all right. Well, you think you have found the man of your dreams. He's smart, sexy,
Yes.
makes you feel special.
Yes.
And he just told you he has kids.
Oh.
But there's no need to panic. Here are tips on how to navigate this new dating territory. Know that he is a package deal. When talking about his kids, be open to hearing about his issues and feelings. You may not be able to relate if you do not have children of your own, but having someone to talk to is just as supportive. All right, don't hear wedding bells on the first date. Just because your new love interest has children does not mean that he is eager to marry the next gal he dates. His main concern is, of course, his children, which is a good thing. Take it slow. A woman shouldn't meet a man's children until they have established a stable, meaniful relationship.
I think that's a really good point, because you have to understand that you're not only getting involved in that relationship with the man, but also the children. So you
Right.
don't want to set anything up where not only your heart gets broken, but his or the kids.
Right, and you're going to have a relationship and have an impact on that child's life then.
Yeah, and I think it's hard too, because you're sometimes not the priority. In fact, most of the times you're
Right.
probably not the priority, because the parenting part is the priority.
Right.
There's usually an ex-wife to deal with too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes maybe more than one.
Yeah.
Anyway, well,
Speaking from experience.
No, not from experience.
Right.
Just, you see it on TV,
Sure.
baby mama drama.
Yeah, yes, true.
So we all lust after designer handbags, and if you go the knockoff route, it's illegal, can be
Yeah.
low quality, and is even insulting to real designers.
That's why Coupon Codes for You is helping you spot the real deal from an imposter. Here are the easy tells. Check the hardware, logos and material. Lightweight metal accents, slightly skewed logos, and cheap materials are dead giveaways. If it says fake Spade, it's not a Kate Spade. Look for online indicators. When buying a handbag online, make sure it's from a reputable source. If sites are based in China or Hong Kong, proceed with caution. Also check the descriptions and reviews for signs of inauthenticity. And only shop with respectable resellers. Authentic and vintage handbags are often sold on eBay. Buyers just need to be smart in researching the seller. If the deal looks too good to be true, you know the deal, it usually is. A Chanel bag will never be $50.
No, and then look for craftsmanship flaws. A Burberry or Prada handbag will not have crooked stitching or unfinished edges, and we'll say Prado. No brand-specific giveaways. For instance, Marc Jacobs' zippers are embossed with either Riri or Lampo, and all Louis Vuitton bags made since the early 80s have a date stamped somewhere on the interior. And remember, being real is better than being a fashion fraud. You can always rent a designer bag for a week if you need to amp up your appearance.
And who knew shoes could be too sexy? This huge ad for famed shoe designer Brian Atwood showing naked men on a couch stroking a model's long legs has been banned by the Madison Avenue building housing the designer's new Midtown store. The ads have also been given the boot from City Taxi TV because they're considered too risque. Even a PG version was nixed. However, Taxis will screen a behind-the-scenes teaser of the film. You're seeing some of the clips here that we can actually show you. Inspired by the racy ad campaign, which will be shown at brianatwood.com. Atwood's ad ran in all the hot September magazines, showing off Atwood's signature leopard-covered heels.
They are sexy. Now, we can't all afford to have an army of pros perfecting our hair, nails, and makeup before we leave the house, which is why the following tricks from Glamour magazine are a normal girl's best friend. First, get expensive-looking skin. The same 4 ingredients celeb derms recommend recommend are there for the taking on the drugstore shelf. Think RAPA, that's retinoids, antioxidants, peptides, and alpha hydroxy acids. Get expensive looking nails. New polish will make you feel more put together. If your polish is chipped, take it off.
True.
Any manicure will look cheap if you leave it on for too long. The clean nails look best. Get expensive looking hair. Use a paper towel to blot the water out of your hair without disturbing the cuticle before you blow dry.
Really?
It really gives you shinier, silkier, more expensive looking hair.
I think the nail part is really important because
Yes.
anytime you can tell how well a person takes care of themselves by their nails.
Their nails
Yeah.
and their toenails too.
Bingo. Yeah. Planning a last minute trip for Labor Day, you can enjoy and save money too with these tips. Know your airports. Find out which airline has major hubs near you. Stick with the airline that has the closest headquarters to your home. They're usually a little less expensive. They will offer the most flights and also the best deals. And look for cheaper vacation packages. Go to a discount website, sites like Groupon and Living Social or Mamapedia, and search for the top deals on your Travel City wish list. Also, sign up for membership a couple of weeks before you go anywhere and take advantage of coupons they offer for dining and local attractions. And pick the right time. Shoulder seasons are different from off-peak times. Off-peak equals hurricane season. Shoulder seasons, well, flights and hotel rooms are just less expensive. April through May, mid-August to October is an ideal time for a trip to Europe. It's the least expensive.
Whether it's for your next vacation, the holidays, or your kids' tuition, it's important to have a budget. Even more important is having a budget that will actually work for you. That's why certified financial planner Christina Pinto from MPC Wealth Management is here to help us. Welcome.
Thank you, Rachel.
Where do we start when it comes to budgeting?
Well, first of all, most folks don't even take the time to set aside and create a budget. Whether they're just too busy or don't see the value in it, they just don't take the time to do it. And that's evident in personal bankruptcies in the U.S. are at an all-time high today.
All right, take us through the process of budgeting.
Well, as you know, the web is our friend, and you can find any type of template or worksheet that will help you get started. Listing your income, all of your income, listing your expenses, whether it's the obvious ones or the not so obvious ones.
What are some of the not so obvious?
Well, your trips to Starbucks and maybe some beauty salon and some lunches here and there that you don't really think about as a monthly expense.
At the end of the month, so once we have our budget, how do we adjust it then for the following month to make sure we're actually sticking to it?
And one step back is pay yourself first. I'm
Okay.
a big believer in that because that's how you accumulate wealth over time. After you do that, you're going to obviously the add and subtract, and hopefully at the end there is money left over.
That's the goal, right?
So unfortunately, if the answer is no, you do have to go back and make some adjustments. You know, look at your expenses and really take a look at what you're spending. And it's amazing what happens when you start writing them down.
You can really see, oh my gosh, I can't believe I spent all this money at, the grocery store or, at the mall.
Exactly.
And then when we're filling out the budget list for our expenses, what's one of the biggest mistakes people make?
Well, I think, Rachel, is first of all not creating one, not having one, and not personalizing it. Because if you don't set aside money to do those things you enjoy doing, you're going to be frustrated. And if you're frustrated, it's not going to work. And there's no reason to have it then.
You were talking about 3 different questions you should ask when you're shopping to help save money. What are those 3 questions?
Well, I think it goes back to if the answer was no and you're basically upside down at the end of the month, then the adjustments have to be made. Ask yourself, first of all, do you need it? Do you really need this item? Typically, you're going to answer yes. And then, can you live without it? Again, it's probably no.
No.
And if that comes to the third question is, can you substitute it? And by substituting, a lot of times you're able to save some money, whether it's temporary or sometimes it becomes something that's permanent.
Those are really good tips. And you could probably apply those to if you're planning a special occasion or a trip, right?
Absolutely. And to do that, Rachel, you want to incorporate that special trip or whatever it is that you're trying to plan for. Hopefully you have some time to do it and work backwards. Remember, anytime we break down a goal, it becomes more manageable and therefore attainable. And at the end of the day, you're going to be happier you were able to do that.
And you can go on that trip, just cut a couple lunches out with the girls, and you're good to go.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Christina. You can find her tips and a budgeting form on our website, lifeloveshopping.com.
Ladies, here are some ways to make sure you don't get ripped off when you take your car in for repairs. Don't say, I know it's probably something bad. If you are ignorant about your car, some mechanics will take full advantage. Also, keep your receipts. It's the only way the work will be guaranteed. Producing all of your receipts can also help you resell your car, and it's a major bonus when it comes to reselling that car because it'll make the next owner feel confident about the purchase. And a fix is free without your okay. If they fix something without your authorization, consider it a freebie. Remember, it's your car and you decide what gets repaired. And don't tell your garage you're headed out of town and ask them to hold your car because they might use it as a loaner. The BMW Group is changing the way the city of San Fran uses their wheels. Check it out. It all starts with one of America's busiest cities, San Francisco. With over 500,000 vehicles, there seems to only be a whopping 448,000 parking spaces available. So the BMW Group is giving the city the chance to relieve some of that traffic congestion and provide a greener parking system.
You know, here we are in San Francisco. A lot of people come into the city every day. What do? They spend time looking for parking. So the roads are more congested, CO2 is affected as a result of it. If you know where you're going to park, then it's much easier. It takes down traffic congestion, and of course it gives you a better premium service.
The first step was Drive Now, a car sharing program that offers the opportunity to drive BMW's first all-electric vehicle, the BMW Active E, with zero-emission driving. With over 70 Active E vehicles available, drivers register online or in person, and within minutes they can locate or book an available car via the Drive Now website or even the mobile app. And thanks to the Column Technologies ChargePoint network, drivers can now locate a nearby charging station for their rental in case they need to top off with no time limit.
And Drive Now is an innovative, flexible premium car sharing service where you can book a car by the minute, pick it up on one spot and give it back on another spot. And in San Francisco, it's all electric driving with our great Active E cars.
Another great addition that launches this September is Park Now. This online mobile parking service enables users to pay for parking in advance with guaranteed access to a parking spot with guaranteed rates. Find a spot using their mobile app or website and reserve and pay for your space. Less driving to find a spot means less emissions.
What we want to do is to offer mobility solutions as well, and things like Park Now, things like Drive Now, things like My Cityway are all part of the initiative under the I brand.
With options that work towards reducing emissions and congestion, it truly looks like BMW is changing the world one city at a time. Stay with us. Still plenty of more to come here on Life Love Shopping. Coming up, which celebs share a little too much information.
Also, Super Skinny is out. Find out why models are now being photoshopped to look full-figured. And if you've run out of ways to punish your pooch for counter surfing or eating your undies, indulge in dog shaming. It's a new blog allowing to post pictures of your pooch wearing a sign explaining the latest violation, like here.
Bad dog, Hannah. Add my dog, Mr. Blue, to that blog,
yes,
dog
you were
shaming.
telling me he gets out of your yard.
He figured out how to open up the gate, and he's been taking himself for walks around the neighborhood while I've been at work, so he belongs on the dog shaming blog.
Well, usually we are complaining about magazines photoshopping models to look skinnier, but now we're dealing with the opposite.
It's called reverse retouching. Take, for instance, Lady Gaga on the cover of Vogue. She's not that curvy, plus there is a notable difference in, well, in her, you know, in general. Here's behind the scenes video Vogue posted of the photo shoot. These days, magazines are increasingly photoshopping models to appear heavier because they say that's what the public wants. A talent manager was quoted saying, "I have to airbrush clients to make them appear bigger and more womanly before I submit photographs because skinny doesn't sell."
And celeb stylists say you can thank Beyonce, J-Lo, Kim K, and other curvy stars like Sports Illustrated cover girl Kate Upton for the new trend of bootyliciousness. And some find the practice just as controversial, though, as slimming down models. And it gets even more ridiculous when health and fitness magazines do it in order to make models appear healthier. I mean, this is probably a good thing, though, because it represents real women.
Yeah, and I think so, although it It seems a bit skewed, though. I don't know. I don't think it matters whether you're airbrushing them to look thinner or airbrushing them to look larger. You're still changing. You're altering the photograph. So I think that's still deceptive. And I know that there's, in Britain, they have to have a bottom note that says, look, the photographs have been airbrushed, so that you understand exactly what image you're looking at. Now, I think we all believe that it's, you know, most of them are Photoshop, but anyway. Models aren't the only ones overexposed. A-list and D-list celebs are too.
Jessica Reyes from our news partner, The Daily Buzz, is here with who's showing too much. Jess?
That's right, ladies. We know their every move, and not by choice. It's because they openly share it with the world. First celeb guilty of sharing her every move shouldn't surprise you. Kim K, who we see here in the act. The reality star's Twitter feed is packed with bikini photos of herself, which she posts on almost a daily basis, sometimes more than once a day. Now, for the next person who usually overshares, yet I have to give her credit for trying to quit her addiction at some point. Miley Cyrus quit Twitter in October 2009 because she said her then-now fiance, Liam Hemsworth, didn't like it. 2 years later, she signed back on, and since then has been oversharing more than ever, including this pic right here. Nice cut, chica. And you see this sexy diva right here? Of course, Rihanna is also guilty of oversharing online. Every day looks like a party, judging by her Twitter feed. The We Found Love singer certainly keeps her more than 24 million followers up to date on her adventures with oftentimes R-rated photos of who else? Herself, like this one. And those are the worst offenders when it comes to online oversharing. For more, check me out on The Daily Buzz weekday mornings.
All right, we're always looking for new ways to feel and look younger.
The solution is simple. We will tell you which fruits to add to your diet to help you look younger, longer. That is coming up next. Welcome back to Life Love Shopping. Cutting boards save our countertops, but they are prone to sliding at the most inopportune moments.
Yes, so how do you prevent cutting board slippage? A contributor on our partner site, galtime.com, has a great tip.
A cutting board that slips and slides around on its surface is not only awkward, it can be really dangerous. So here's a quick tip to keep your cutting board in place. On your surface, place a lightly damp paper towel, and then set your cutting board right on top of it. That's it. The cutting board stays in place, and then when you're done, you can use that same moist paper towel to wipe up your surface.
Multi-use. Another idea, attach 2 rubber bands at each end of the plastic cutting board and you're good to go.
Want to feel and look younger? Who doesn't?
Yes, please. You can do that just by adding certain fruits to your diet, starting with fruits full of vitamin C to fight cancer and fine lines. How it works, vitamin C is linked with a lower risk for lung and other cancers. It helps produce skin-firming collagen to keep your face looking full. So eat cantaloupes, kiwi, oranges, papayas, even strawberries. The next one is potassium. It will actually safeguard your heart. That's the bananas right here. How it works, sodium is a known blood pressure booster and potassium helps counter it. So eat bananas, mangoes, you can also eat the oranges as well for that. And then fiber and water, this helps stop weight gain. And how that works is they both keep you fuller for longer. So you're less likely to cave into cravings, and that helps you manage your weight, which is fundamental to healthy aging. So you want to eat apples and blueberries, and the darker the fruits are usually the better for you.
Sure, anthocyanins to be fitter, longer. How it works, the juices with anti-inflammatories on days before and after you exercise will give you less muscle fatigue and pain. Again, blueberries are good for that. Cherries, pomegranates, polyphenols to maintain a sharp mind. That's what those will do for you. How it works, well, the study findings from Tufts University suggest these organic chemicals may improve brain and motor function. Apples, blueberries, and Concord grapes are good for that. Seems like blueberries are one of the best fruits you can possibly consume.
They are, and they're a great little sweet treat too if you freeze them. They're
and
really
apples,
good.
If you're hungry, eat an apple and it'll, keep
Save
you full.
over. All right, here at Life Love Shopping, we want to connect with you. When we're not on TV, you can stay in touch by liking our Facebook page and see what's coming up tomorrow. You can, of course, follow and tweet us on Twitter at Life Love Shop. See lots of behind-the-scenes action.
We're always available and accessible to
Always,
you. Yeah.
24/7.
And,
Email.
and if you've got a dog you want to shame, you got to check out the dog shaming blog.
We got to put yours up.
He goes on there, I swear. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're here on WeTV every weekday morning. Be good, everybody.